A second green face peered around the door. He stuck out his tongue at the girls. Rachel leapt towards the door and the faces disappeared. By the time she reached the hallway, the goblins had vanished. "We have to find them," said Rachel. "What do you think they are doing here?" "Something naughty," said Kirsty, joining her in the hallway. They could hear Abigail and her family laughing in the kitchen. "Abigail would have seen them if they had gone in there," said Rachel. "Perhaps they are upstairs." The girls stood at the bottom of the stairs and looked up. There were no lights on. "It would be rude to go upstairs without asking permission," said Kirsty. "But they are bound to ask us why we want to go up there." "We cannot lie," said Rachel, "but we cannot tell them the truth either." Oh dear, they had promised Queen Titania never to tell anyone about fairyland or magic, and that included the goblins and Jack Frost. They could not break their promise. Just then there was a scuffling noise from the landing upstairs. "That is them," said Kirsty. "I am sure of it." "Goblins," said Rachel in her loudest whisper. "Please come down. You should not be up there." There was another scuffling sound, and then a tall goblin appeared at the top of the stairs with a yellow rucksack in his hand. He sat down across his leg and crossed his legs. "What do you want?" he asked. "It is not polite to wander around in somebody's house without being invited," said Rachel. The goblin blew a loud raspberry at her. "What are you doing here?" asked Kirsty. "Wouldn't you like to know?" the goblin retorted. "You are being rude," said Rachel. The goblin threw back his head and burst out laughing. "Don't you get it?" he said. "We are here to be rude." "What do you mean?" asked Kirsty. "We are on a mission to cause as much trouble as we can," said the goblin with an unpleasant grin. "It is fun." The girls exchanged worried looks. "Jack Frost has Hana's magical Hanukkah," said Rachel. "We guessed that he would do something to spoil Hanukkah." "He does not care about spoiling Hanukkah," sneered the goblin. Rachel and Kirsty shared another worried look. If Jack Frost did not want to spoil Hanukkah, why had he sent the goblins here? "But you must have been sent to take Hanukkah ideas," Kirsty stammered. "If we see something that should belong to Frost Day, we will take it," said the goblin. "But Jack Frost wants to get his own back on you." "On us?" asked Rachel. "He hasn't forgotten that you helped that silly Diwali fairy to get her lamb back," said the goblin with a sneer. Just then the sitting room door creaked. The goblin let out a squawk of laughter. "What is so funny?" asked Kirsty. The goblin just hugged his rucksack and darted out of sight. Just then Miriam came out of the kitchen with the donuts that the girls had brought. Abigail and her parents were close behind, also carrying large plates of food. "Here we are," said Abigail's mom. "Latkes, Sauerkraut, Princess." She stopped as she walked into the sitting room. "Where are all the candles?" she asked. Rachel and Kirsty ran in. The family's Hanukkah was empty. "This was what the naughty goblins planned all along," whispered Kirsty. "He kept us talking while the other goblin went in and took the candles." "Miriam, did you move them?" Abigail's mom asked, frowning a little. Miriam shook her head, and her mom turned to Rachel and Kirsty with raised eyebrow. It was not us, we promise, said Rachel. Even though she was innocent, she felt bad. She wished that she could tell the whole truth. We cannot celebrate Hanukkah without the candles, said Abigail, her lips trembling. I am sure we will find them, said her mom. I cannot understand what's happened, but we won't let it spoil Hanukkah. We'll look for them, said Kirsty, pulling Rachel out of the room. There were no goblins in the kitchen, so the girls went into the larder. It was a cold little storage room with lots of nooks and crannies. They should easily have hidden the candles in here, said Rachel, shutting the door. The girls searched everywhere. They peeped behind large bags of rice and big tubs of honey, but there was no candle to be seen. Let us check the garden, said Rachel. Kirsty went to open the larder door, but the handle would not turn. It's stuck, she said. Even with both of them trying, it would not budge. This door is not just stuck, said Rachel. We have been locked in.